Hello, welcome to this video. So this video is pretty much like part 5 of our journey to try and solve the mystery of Langrenus 2021-14, the channel that was streaming from the moon 5 months ago apparently. So we'll go over too much of the introduction. Something we did want to talk about was this part at the end. This part right here, when we're actually looking through everything. We're looking through this picture, right, this video here. Now, if you're looking at this picture here, this video, you might not see anything if you're not looking at it properly, right? What we can see is, if we have, throw this up here, if we have this picture up here, we would see over here, maybe there's a crater over here. You just can't see anything because it's so blurry. Last part, if you haven't seen it, you should go watch all the other parts before this to figure out how we're finding these, right? Right here might be something, right there might be a rock or a crater, as well as over here, as well as up here maybe, right? So everything's so blurry in the videos, but as we find it, as we go through and look at all the different pictures, we can maybe find that there's actually more than the picture shows. Just because of the way that the lighting is, the way it's focusing it, like there's definitely something there. There's definitely a crater on the top left there, right? Why didn't it come out in the picture? Maybe it did. But if you're looking at this, you can see at the top left, there's definitely a crater at the top of that. Definitely like that. So if we press play, this is from the last video, from the previous video. So if we were to scroll ahead, sometimes his light focus changed for some reason. For some reason, it's really bright where he's up there. Seems like the sun is probably out most of the time. Although it seems like maybe he's out there during the night. Because what we learned is that there's like a 30-day light cycle. So pretty much there would be like 15 days of light, 15 days of night. Something like that. It takes 30 days for the sun to go all the way around it. So what we're doing is we're going through here, finding cool things like this, right? So this was just literally one frame of the picture. That was it. The frame before it was the one that we just showed almost, right? So if we're going through here, we found this amazing picture, right? So that's kind of like the same picture we just showed. But if you look at it, there's actually a crater on the right-hand side. I wonder if we should take a picture of it to talk about it, right? Because we could go here. We can pause this. So here's the original picture before it, right? There's the one before it. We actually should have these here. Maybe we'll actually go into here. We'll go see if we can find where those pictures were. I'm not sure if we'll be able to find them, right? Were they at the beginning here? Were they at the beginning? Maybe they weren't. So before, we had a problem where we couldn't see anything over here. I think our pause key for the video might be the same as hide at the track. Because before we said we couldn't see this anymore, but it was because the track was hidden. Yes, this is the exact same spot, right? So I'm not sure if it's going to be pre-rendered or not. Looks like it isn't, right? We have to wait for this gray bar to fill up to just so you can see the best quality of it. Not sure why it's rendering like that, or pre-caching or pre-loading or something. So let's just close this, open it up again. If we were looking at this picture here, this picture. So where's the scroll bar? If we're looking at this one, and then we're looking at the next one, we're supposed to be looking at the pictures. It's way back here. It's way back here. We want the scroll bar to be right here. Open. Here we go. Here's what the picture originally looks like, right? But then shortly after, it changes to this for a split second, right? So we can see here in the first picture, maybe there's a crater or a hole out there. Maybe there's something. You can't really make out anything, right? Maybe there's something here. You can't really make out anything. Maybe there's a crater right there. You're just looking for the black lines, basically, or white lines. Right here, you can see something. Maybe right here and right here. But actually, shortly after, something happens with the light in his camera. And then it turns like this. So it's the exact same place, except that more things come out, right? So up here where we thought there was something, there actually was something, right? So we look up over here. There's looks like this is what the true surface looks like. So if we're looking at all these pictures, maybe it just looks like a sandy desert. It's so pixelated you can't see anything. But some frames, you actually get a good picture. Like, here's a crater here, here's a crater, here's one right here, here's some rocks over here, here's a crater over here, here's what we found, maybe up there. This crater right here we can see. We can see it clearly on the left-hand side of the preview panel, right? Here's something here, here's something. So all of a sudden, this is probably what the ground looks like. There's something there, right? You can see all these holes in the ground. Right here, there's a black dot. So that's what we're looking for. And actually, on like Sol Day 5, there's an even more clear picture of it. Like, here's two dots here, right? That'd be something. There's something. So it's just so pixelated most of the time, but you can see something. And I actually think this is the person who's carrying the camera, right? So you just see his shadow here, that's it. I didn't think it was him when I first seen it. I thought it couldn't be him, but maybe it actually is kind of his shadow or something. Maybe that's his helmet there. Maybe that's his body. You can't see too much of it. But it just does that when his picture changes, right? 'Cause that's what's happening. His camera is adjusting to the light, or he's zooming in, he's zooming in, he's zooming out, he's zooming out or zooming in, and then the picture has to refocus on everything. And then we can see these craters and holes for a bit, and then here's what it normally looks like, right? Most of the stream, it looks like this. Most of the stream looks like this, and you can't pick out anything, although you can maybe see things, right? Maybe there is holes, maybe there is rocks right there, maybe there's rocks right there. So let's just keep going through. Maybe we'll finish going through this thing, right? And then we'll continue with the video. So here's what we were doing. We were trying all different types of filters. Here we did find a bunch of things, right? We were highlighting them. There's a crater right there, what the ground looks like. There's a crater over there. We were trying to add a sharpness to it, which actually does look like it brings out the rocks. But it's harder to see everything else around it, right? We could bring the sharp up and we could bring the sharpness down to see the craters even better if we want. But then it makes things even more pixelated. So then near the end, we're looking at this picture here, right? This one right here. And we can actually see some of the craters and rocks coming in and out. They come in and they appear in the same spot. Here, we can't really see too much. Sometimes we can see, right? Yeah, right there. We paused it, I guess. We're like, there's craters and holes in the ground right there. So you can see them on the left-hand side. Originally, when you're looking at this footage, you don't see anything. But if you pause it, go frame by frame, you can see the odd times when it actually focuses in on them. And it keeps on refocusing on them, right? Because they're there, they disappear, and then they come back, and then they disappear, and they come back in the same spot. Right? So we figured that out. That's all of that. So let's just keep going through and see number 5, right? Sol Day 5. That was the main thing about this video, I think, or where it was starting, right? Looked at all the other days. So we have this organized by the day, right? Everything that happens during the first stream is right here. So you actually see a lot in the very first stream too, right? You can clearly see that there's craters and everything down here. We're not going to look at the first day. We're going to come back to the first day. But it's on the 5th day where you can clearly see anything. I guess over here you can clearly see stuff, right? Because originally, we just looked at this picture. We didn't see anything. We were just looking at this. Right, it's just a barren desert. There's nothing out here. There's no rocks. There's no craters. I'm not sure why it's not putting the pointer where we want it, right? I want to start here. 250. Here's the pointer. So we're looking at this, right? Originally, we thought there was nothing. I don't think we even have this footage. Sol Day 1 for their first stream is impossible to find. The only person who seems to have footage of it is a tech person, right? But if we zoom in, we can actually see all the different things on the ground here, right? So I think we'd have to like pause it, maybe take some frames or something. Maybe it's easier to see them when you're zoomed out, right? Seems like if you're zoomed out, you can see them better. Well, if you zoom in, you can probably see them, right? There's a hole right there. There's a hole. There's one. There's a crater. All those black dots, pretty much. Right up here, maybe even in the next frame or something, right? So you can just sit here, next frame, stuff will maybe pop in and pop out. So I think it's even better at the Sol Day 5, right? So you see there's a crater right there. There's a whole bunch of them. You can see so many of them on the ground. It's just so pixelated that it's hard to see them. Then even up there, right? A whole bunch of holes everywhere across the screen. Which just means that they're all across the surface, just like they would be on the moon. So if we go there, I guess that's all that we really seen of that picture, right? Over here, it'd be kind of the same thing with the moon is being shown up. We can see so many things. We can see so many things on the ground at this point, right? Right here, right? So if we wanted to, we could like save this picture, take a snapshot of it, so we can save it. You can see, right? There's a hole right there. There's a hole right there. Look at how clear this picture actually is. Look at this hole, all these holes and rocks. Right up here, another one. Look at look at how many craters and holes are on the surface here. This is apparently the Earth in the top right, right? So there's like another crater up there, maybe another big hole. So it's not really a plain surface. It's actually craters and rocks everywhere. You can see it right there, right? 1, 2, 3. I wonder if we can do some filtering or something to make them come out, right? I'm sure you probably could do something like that. So you have the first one, we have the second one. So wonder, you probably could. We can take these pictures if we want. Take these pictures that we got. Not sure where they are exactly. But if we were to like maybe just throw them at the beginning for now, I guess. We'll just throw them at the beginning here. Wherever the beginning is. So here's this. Here's these pictures that we just got here. We just have to drag them down here. Then throw them on here. Then we can actually put some filters onto them. See if they'll do anything to help us see something better, right? So here's the first picture we got. If we were to maximize it, maybe we can add some effects. I think we can even like drag this off. Well, it's just hard to see when it's small, right? So I wonder what happens if we lower the exposure, probably, right? Because it's really bright. Would that help us see things? Lower the exposure might help you. You could even do this while watching the video, right? I don't know what edge detect would do. Edge detect probably would just make all those holes come up really better, right? See what edge detect? It's not just detecting the edges. I'm not sure if that's working as good as we wanted it to, right? Usually you just go exposure all the way up, edge detect. That just actually gets rid of everything. Gets rid of everything. We can see how the Earth is glowing at the top right, right? So I think we were supposed to like lower the exposure. I don't think worry about edge detection. I wonder if sharpen would do anything. I'm not sure if it would. It would probably make it worse. It would probably make it worse if we sharpen. Yeah, it does make it worse. It always seems to make it worse when you sharpen it up for some reason. Alright. So let's just do that then. We'll just add a little bit of exposure. Give it some negative exposure. And then look at it. So there we go. So it's pretty much the same thing we just looked at. I think we'll actually get the video wherever the video was. So if we go here, if we add the effects here to bring the exposure down, right? We figured out maybe that would help us see it better. Bring it there. Maybe negative 20, 18, negative 20, something like that. If we go here, I think we have to change this to negative 20. Does that make it easier or harder to see it? I think it does make it easier to see it. I think it does make it easier. And if we do that, then we can see the more holes clearly in the ground. I don't think it actually makes too much of a difference, right? I think it's easier without the effects. It's easier just how it was because it's a bit brighter. But if you look at that picture, we can see all that. So let's just look at the Soul Day 5 then, right? We already looked at this. This is actually when he tilts the camera down. And then it looks down here. You can see those same rocks that we see in all these pictures whenever we're trying to look at them, right? We see the rocks on the ground that we see in all those pictures. We can see maybe it looks like a desert because it has those lines across it, right? Desert lines. There's desert lines everywhere on this moon. Desert lines everywhere. Which makes it weird, right? Is it real or is it fake? We also got this, which would be like a one small crater hole, which does prove that there is small crater holes down there, right? If you look up, he's going to start walking, right? And we can see there is definitely things on the ground there, right? We can see there is definitely a white light on the ground in the bottom middle. As he goes through, if you go through here, you can definitely see things on the ground phase in and out on the bottom right here. And maybe even up there, right? That top right. Maybe those white dots mean something. White pixelated dots may mean something. Because he is walking right now, right? Even in this picture, right? Even in this picture, if you're looking at it, all those white lines. All those white lines add black dots. All the white lines and black dots are actually something on the ground. So if we do that, we still haven't gone to a Soul Day 5 yet, right? We're still looking at Soul Day 1. So I don't think there was anything else to watch more on Soul Day 1, except that this person was maybe pointing this stuff out for him, right? So know that he does kick up dust here. He does kick up dust on Soul Day 5. We do see his feet again, right? We do see this. So that's what the dust looks like when it's being kicked up. I don't know if we could improve the saturation or something. But what he was trying to show is that he's walking, somebody's walking with the camera, and they kicked up some sand or dust, one of the two, right? So I wonder because it's so dark. Because it's so dark, if we actually put up the exposure, would it help us see the dirt being kicked up? I don't know if it does, right? Why is it so gray and black? I wonder if we do some other filter, right? So the thing is, we can see it. We'd like to see it better, right? We can see something is being kicked up. Is there sharpened? Would that make it worse? I don't know if it would make it worse or not. If we go here, that would probably make it worse, right? Why does it look like this now? You can't even see anything. What if we, what does a colorize do, right? Pretty sure there was something like that. Where was that button? That's not good. There we go. I thought there was a button that was like that, right? If exposure didn't work, maybe color adjustments. I think that was it. Then, if we play around with these things, does it help us? I don't know if that makes it clear, maybe not. But the main thing, I guess, he's kicking up dust here. And that's what it looks like. Yeah, we just can't figure out how to make it look better, right? We just can't figure out how to make it look better. If there is a way to make it look better, I think it just looks better how it normally was, right? Maybe you light it up just a little tiny bit. I think that's it. Exposure plus 25. Lights it up. You see him kicking the dust. So what does that mean, right? He kicks it twice, right? There's another time he kicks up the dust. Is that what sand looks like when you kick it up, or is that different, right? See it kicked up. Is it supposed to stay together like that? Or is it supposed to get kicked up in the air, right? So it gets kicked up, and then it just goes straight to the ground, right? It gets kicked up, and then it just goes straight to the ground. It doesn't even float in the air or anything. Is mood not supposed to float when you kick it? I don't know, we'd have to watch some actual Apollo boot landings or something. So let's go to the other time he kicked it up, right? This was just that other person that was pointing out things, right? So this is interesting too. This is where it is, right? This is where it's being filmed from. This crater over here. Where's that part of the video? Oh, it's right here. Langrenus crater. That's where it's being filmed, right? This person pointed out, right? We seen that footage. He's sitting right there, wherever the station is, right? Langrenus crater is right here. This is where it's being filmed, and that's who is filming it, maybe. Is it that thing? Is that rocket ship? Is that him? Right there? Because you can clearly see this is where it's being filmed. There's the Langley crater. We can see the surrounding area, which kind of looks similar. Which brings us to the point that there isn't too many things over here, right? So there could be areas where there isn't too many craters. When we look out here, looks relatively clean over there. So if we just go over here, maybe we'll go to Soul Day 5. So this is all just Soul Day 1 at the beginning. We have all of our Soul Day 1 stuff in the beginning from his very first stream. And then we just have stuff from later, right? So imagine this is like Soul Day 1 on a second stream. And I think we just have this clip again for some reason. We have 2 versions of it. And then maybe we have 3 versions of the same clip. And then here's another clip. Maybe this is from Soul Day 2, I would imagine, right? So something we did notice as we look through here, it does get darker each day. It does get darker each day, right? It starts really bright. Well, the first video, it's really bright. It's really bright in the first video. Here's how bright it is in the first video, right? We can't even get to that point. Here's how bright it is. Look how bright it is out there. Look how bright it is in the first bit. Here's Soul Day 2, maybe. Maybe it's like Soul Day 1 or 2. That gets darker the next day. And as we go to the next day, it gets even darker, right? It gets darker. Each day it gets darker. It looks like a baby. He just applies this filter because it's so dark out there. Because as we know, there's like 14 and a half days of light, 14 and a half days of darkness. So this is Soul Day 3, right? We could look at it. You can say it says Soul Day 3 here. So this is where we're at. Look how dark it is outside. If we keep going, Soul Day 3 later. It's so dark, you could barely see anything. So this might be like the 4th day. Is it? We could check when he hovers over it, right? Yeah, we can check. Soul Day 3. So this is still Soul Day 3, but it's getting darker out there. That was the other interesting thing, right? If he's really on the moon, there'd be 15 days of light, 50 days of dark. So it would generally keep getting darker, right? So you can see how it's getting darker. There's the Earth. When he first showed it, it was really a lot brighter outside. So maybe he's using this other filter later because it's so dark. He has to use this to be able to even show it. So we can say Soul Day 3 is here. So this is later at the end of Soul Day 3. So you can see it's extremely dark. We can even see some rocks and craters over here, right? Right there. There's a crater right there. 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 We can see all these things without even brightening up the picture. But if we did brighten up the picture, if we did add exposure to it to make it brighter so we can actually see everything. Oh, don't forget to go up to max exposure. We go here, it should brighten it up by like 25, right? You just have to wait for it to kick in or something. Or was that it? Bring the exposure up all the way. Okay, it seems to do it. Just it didn't really see too much. But if it's really dark out there, we could brighten up the picture if we want to see more. But we might lose some quality, right? So if we maximize this, we get a little brighter picture now. And wherever the light is, right here. We're not sure if that helped. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, maybe that did. We can see right there, right? crater up here, it did brighten it up so we can see a little bit better. There's a crater. This is a good view of the actual ground out there where he's filming from. Another one, right? There's so many good examples of this. There's holes right there, craters, there's some rocks. There's even a line right there is a track. Maybe there's even a track line on the ground. Over here, there's something there. Maybe these are actually tracks right here. There's another black hole right there, right? If we were to go like to the next frame or something, yeah, there's something that popped up right there, right? There's the crater right there, and it's going to go out of focus. Then it's going to disappear in the next frame. It's gone, right? So these craters, they go in and out of focus. There's maybe something right there, right? Something right there, maybe. So that's what you do. You sit here, look at it, hit the next frame button. There's definitely something right there, right? Now, whenever you find like a really good frame where it's focused in, you can see a lot of good craters. There's two back there, right? So you can just see how how many rocks and craters are on the ground. That's what this does, I think, right? Yeah, you can see them all pop up, right? Right there, right there. There's two of them. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one up there. They all just appear and then disappear because his camera is so fuzzy. So if we do that, there's a whole bunch we found. Craters, right? That's definitely a crater. That might be one up there. So you can see it's not just a flat surface out there. It's definitely not a flat surface out there as you would look. So just see what Sol Day this is from, right? Sol Day 4. So it's also pixelated a little bit because this hasn't caught up yet, right? So it could be a little bit better. But even looking at this picture, right? You can see there's one crater there. And there is rocks and everything around, right? All these pictures, we're just going to look and see craters and rocks. I don't think there's anything new in this picture. But the thing is, it's Sol Day 4. So this is the second last day before he ends the stream. After this, his stream ends, right? So there's something up there, and then it moves in the next frame, and then it moves back over there. And then it stays over there. Next frame, maybe it'll move over there again. So there's something up there. It just keeps focusing in and out of it as it loses focus. And it just moves a little bit, right? You can see, yeah, it just keeps coming in and out as it appears and disappears up there. Yeah, there it is right there, right? Alright. So that's Sol Day 4. Footage from Sol Day 4. Sol Day 4, some more footage, right? He just shows the Earth up there. So I think this is the last time that he actually shows the Earth, right? This is the last time he shows it. It's way up high in the sky. I wonder if this is where he took the picture for his batter, right? See, look here. Look at his batter. No, the Earth looks a bit different, right? It's not the same one. It's not the same one. So that's different, right? It's the only time that the Earth looks like that in any of his pictures. That's all that you see there. Now, this is what, Sol Day 4? So we're not sure why it's so bright. We're not 100% sure why it's so bright. Maybe he changed things with his cameras, but we can see. Let's look through it quick. There's just so hard to see anything. It's so hard to see anything in this picture. So hard to see anything. I don't think you can like see anything even if you tried. Well, you can always see something if you go frame by frame, right? Two. There's something. There's something. There is stuff out there. There is stuff out there, but it's so so covered with noise. You wouldn't be able to find anything. This one's so covered with noise, but then we get a better picture, right? This shows some interesting things. And I imagine when it refocuses, when it goes in and then out of focus, when he moves his head, that's when you'll be able to see stuff. This is when you'll be able to see stuff. This is when you can see stuff when the camera's refocusing in on the light. And then from the heavens, the light comes in, and then we kind of see the craters and stuff a whole lot better here, right? There's like stuff over there, definitely. But if we go over here, it'll start to phase out, that disappear as it loses focus on everything again. So I think over here is like somehow how you would get a good picture of it, right? Except, cause there's like stuff up there, right? It's so hard to see it though. It's so pixelated, but there's something just appeared Something's right there. Rocks, rocks, crater, rocks, rocks, rocks. Another crater. Then if we just hit the next. So once we get to the final scene, once we get to the final video, that's where you actually get to see things more clearly than ever, right? Not sure why it works out like that, but look how dark it is at this point for some reason. It's really dark. Keeps getting darker over the day. There's definitely a crater in the middle of the screen there. But then this. This is apparently just before he ends it. I'm not sure if it is. It's so bright out there. But if you're looking at this, you can see so many things out there, right? Imagine if we took the saturation down and make it easier to see things, right? Yeah, it's just this clip here. So if we go out here, go to exposure, bring it down so it's not so bright, like negative 20, negative 30, we can see a lot better. So I think negative 20 maybe seems to work. So whenever it looks like this, seems maybe negative 20 exposure might do something. And then we can see a bunch of things, right? So there's that, there's that, there's that, there's that, there's that. So not sure if we go frame by frame, what did that do, right? Or if we just press play. Let's just take this off, right? Get rid of that. Maybe it's alright how it was. We get to see everything. It's really, really bright. Really hard to see anything. So maybe it was better before. We can see small holes everywhere, even if it is like this. So let's just go here. They seem to phase in and out as it loses focus. I thought it was a good picture. Yeah, we see right down there it keeps phasing in and out, whatever it is. Whatever the hole is. Unless they're just glitches that are just appear there, but this appears here, right? This appears here, this appears here. And then even up here, you definitely see if there's rocks or something there, right? Rocks, rocks, rock, rock, rock. Rock, oh, crater, crater, crater. Yeah, the rocks disappeared over there, right? But they reappeared. They disappeared and then they reappeared. So you look that, it's just so pixelated, I guess you still can't see anything. So this is like the final clip before he ends the stream, right? So I guess this is where he's walking. This is where you would see him kicking up the dirt again. Yeah, I want to pause it. So he's kicking up the dirt right here again, right? Here's the second time he kicks up the dirt. Here's the second time. So there's the dirt. There we go. So there we go. You can see him kicking up the dirt again. It's right there. It's being kicked up. So I wonder if we do that, right? We can't see anything. Can't see anything for that part. We're going to have to raise the exposure. Maybe it helps a bit. It's just so hard to see for some reason. Still can't see. But he kicks up the dirt. So there is somebody walking, right? Someone's walking. Someone's walking right now. Here's the ground. He kicks up the dirt. And there's a whole bunch of rocks on the ground. A whole bunch of rocks on the ground. Rocks everywhere. All those black dots, right? Every single black dot. Every single black dot is just like some pebble. Some rock. You don't really see any craters as walking up here, right? He is walking. I guess it's clearer on the first day, right? It's just him walking. Then he ends the stream. So it stops. He stops walking. Then he brings his glove and ends the stream, right? Brings up his glove, and then the stream ends. That was the last thing you've seen of him. That was the last you've seen of it. So what was at the end here? I guess there's nothing, right? Just shows black cut out. This is his hand covering it. Can't really see it too much, right? It's just all black. There's better pictures of his glove. There's better pictures of his glove. That's not a good one. I guess maybe we're looking at the ground here too, right? So I guess all together, there's some really, really good places to get pictures, and there's some alright places to get pictures where it could be better. It's just that it's all gray at that point. It's all gray, so it doesn't have good filters, but there's something right there. There's something there. There's something right there. There's something right there. Right there. Right there. Then we're looking like actual Apollo footage, right? To compare to it, and actually compared to Apollo footage, it's pretty much exactly the same, right? You can see, right? There's something right there, something right there, something right there. So maybe next video we'll start looking at some actual footage and stuff on the moon, and we'll see all the similarities, right? We'll be able to see them clearer than we could before. But we could use them as a basis to say, like, these white lines, they're the exact same thing as here. Those white lines are the exact same things that are in these white lines. We don't know where we're going to find good footage, right? Right here. Where we're going to find these white lines. So if there's some way to make it better, we can see there, right? If we look at this photo, then we can look at real moon photo. Real moon photo, like right here, right? It's you can't even see anything in the back of that photo too. I think it was right here, maybe right there, something like that, something like this, I guess. If you're looking at that, yeah, if you're looking at that, so that'd be kind of the same thing. That'd be kind of the same thing as looking at that. So at this video, we did that. We did that. Eventually, we'll have to figure out more things to like compile everything, right? So all this is just a whole bunch of information about what we're figuring out, and then we'll try to maybe get what the best information is. But I think next time we'll just look at some real moon footage to kind of compare to the moon footage that we've seen of this person that's been streaming and recording from the moon.